Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you stuck in a paper jam of printer prices? Paper cuts from budget cuts? Don't throw in the towel. Call Dixie Digital Imaging and dive into our new and used inventory blowout. We're slashing prices on top-of-the-line Xerox, Brother, and Epson printers and multifunction devices. Gently used or brand new models that are tired of being in our warehouse. Don't miss out on these deals. Call 479-783-6600 for more details. Quantities and availability are limited. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Tonight, a mainly clear sky. Overnight lows will drop down to near 35 degrees. Ample sunshine Wednesday, our high low 60s. Another sunny one on Thursday. Temperatures across the north will actually fall through the 50s, further south in the upper 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
This weather update is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell, ready to serve you.
Financial LLC, member FDIC.
Radio station.
KERX, Paris Fort Smith, from the Bushlight Studios. This is ESPN 95.3.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. I'm putting my heart up. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
But they were one Razorback.
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Hi there, everybody, and good morning, and welcome into halftime. It's Wednesday. I don't know what you got going on today. I hear it's, what do we have today? This is Ferris Wheel Day. It is Ash Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. It's 2 days before the start of baseball season. It's also a basketball game night at Bud Walton Arena, and I don't know what else it is. Good morning, Matt Jones. Good morning, C-Unit Kristen Johnston. How you guys doing today?
Good morning, fellas. My favorite number 2 is Derek Jeter, but I mean Dedrick Poole, one of my teammates for the University of Arkansas. But is Derek Jeter, is that the captain? Is he the number 2 that everybody goes with?
Probably so. Again, and I can't remember uniform numbers off the top of my head the way that a lot of our listeners can, or you can, but that's the one I would go to initially.
Tim Couch, Kentucky Couch, he was a guy that I liked, just as far as being a quarterback, being in high school, you're watching somebody run that Hal Mummy offense. Tim Couch could get it done, number 2.
I would put him, I'd put him a few rungs below Derek Jeter on the sports scale.
I just want to get
good. Don't get me wrong.
I just want to get one of Derek Jeter's gift bags. I'm just afraid of what I'd have to do to get it.
Well, I know we all know what it is too, and we've got a theme to the show today. There's a couple of themes today. I think heartbreak is one of them. Love can be another if you want. And I feel, Matt, there are some broken hearts all across Northwest Arkansas, the state, and through the athletics department at the university, and probably for yourself and a number of teammates of yours. And it's just, I know Dean Weber passes away yesterday. Matt, I know you have a special connection to him. As I've gotten to know you over these last 8-9 years, and as we've done this show for a little more than a year and a half now, you've talked quite a bit about your trips to go see Dean as he's been ailing in health for a while now. So when was the last time you got a chance to visit with him?
Dino, yeah, I went up and saw him on Friday. One of his sons was up there, and got to see him laugh and smile a little bit, said a joke. It's what can you do? No, I was very, very thankful, very fortunate to have Dean Weber and be part of his life for a little bit. I'll never forget that dude. I love him. I was lucky enough. I got back in doing this show with you, and Coach Dal Loggins was still up there at the university before he went to South Carolina. And him and Dino were doing a thing where they were eating once a week. They were going out to eat. And so I was lucky enough to get invited to that, and then just kind of got grandfathered in, where then I was, for about, 18 months or so, we'd try to go 2 or 3 times a month, go up there and eat and hang out. So, yeah, man, he was he's like a Mr. Miyagi, an Irish Mr. Miyagi. He just pointed you in the right direction. He was so aware, like micro, macro, whatever you wanted. He knew what was going on. He knew it. Like, he knew the truth. You just had to listen to him, and he knew how to relate. He knew how to communicate. One of my favorite things about working out and doing maintenance or rehab or whatever you call it when you got to go into the training room, it was like, well, here's a couple options. And he was so good at this with not just me, but with other players. He's like, well, what hurts on you? Well, here's 2 or 3 or 4 things we can do. Now you choose which one of these you want to do, because he knows that you got to do something, but he wants you to be in a good mood too, because if you're liking it and you're digging it, you're going to put better effort in. Yeah. He just had a way to relate with everybody, and he'll always have a special place in my heart.
And I have a feeling that the sentiments that you just expressed to us are the way that I think just about anybody that came in contact with him, just from what I read about and from what you've told me. So how do you feel today, knowing that he's gone? How what was your initial reaction? And
well, I had
half a day later. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it was a little hard going to sleep last night. It was heavy on my mind. Just thinking. But it was all positive. It was all just the love that he had and the good things. It's I had Fisherman Clay call me. Coach Z called. Had about 6, 7, 8 teammates. So it's he touched a lot of people, 50 years of service, and his spirit's still alive and well, man. As long as I'm here, as long as the people he's touched and been around, the Dean Weber spirit it's still alive and well.
Could not have been easy seeing him the other day, but it's like
he said the word cool. Dino never says the word cool, so it was kind of like it was
made him feel like that, man.
Well, he was, it was one of those deals, but yeah, it was good to see him on Friday.
Yeah, I remember, is mentor the right word?
100%. I would consider him a mentor. Absolutely. He was somebody, Phil, I was hurt in Jacksonville. I had a like a soft tissue. That was kind of a thing I had, and I called Dino, the trainer from Arkansas. I'm like, hey, Dino, I need this stuff that you did when I was at Arkansas. Man, it wasn't 2 days later it shows up on my doorstep. Like it's he was just one of those guys that if I needed something, man, he was always there for me.
Is this the way that you're describing? I mean, was that the team-wide feel while you were at Arkansas about Dean Weber? Because, I mean, I've heard Clay talked about it on the Morning Rush today. We'll have Clay later on halftime at 12, that it didn't matter whether you were scholarship, walk-on, star, scrub, fourth stringer, whatever, that he had a way of connecting with people.
That's exactly right. That was one of the main things that you have in that position, in that profession. You have to be able to be relatable. You have to be able to connect. You have to be, I'd say, speak the language. He knew how to speak Matt. He knew how to speak my language.
That's not the easiest language sometimes.
That's right. But then he also knew how to speak Anthony Lucas. Then he also knew how to speak Darren McFadden. He had a way to connect and to relate and to listen. And the words, whenever he talked, you listen. I mean, it was just how it was. And he was funny. He was definitely funny. He was a firecracker. But
well, that's the thing. It's like you remember the lessons that you learned from this person. Like if I ever think of somebody that was a mentor for me, and hopefully in the best way possible, it's Bill Valentine, who I've talked about on the show quite a bit. But the lessons are one thing. The personality is the other thing. Like that's the thing that you walk away with. The humor, the intelligence.
He was funny.
The ability to connect.
Yeah. He could always get a little jab sometimes. You'd leave somewhere and you'd be like, I wonder if Dino even likes me, man. He was kind of, like he was kind of going hard right there, But
you have to give it right back to him at that point.
Absolutely. Me and Dino spent a lot of time together as far as just us. I had to fly to Alabama to see Dr. James Andrews for my shoulder. And it didn't matter what Dr. James Andrews said. It mattered what Dean Weber said.
Says something.
That was you. I was like, you translate what he says and you tell me, and then I'll listen to you.
Well, we want anybody that's out there that's listening that had personal interactions with Dean Weber or memories of just being a fan, send it in, text it to us, 877-377-6963. Or you can call us and do it in that term. Shay texted in. He used to be sports information at Arkansas. He said Dean went out of his way to help him one day when he was sick, and he was awesome and enjoyed his company every chance he had with him.
The thing that I think that it's hard in some professions, and I think a lot of humans struggle with this, is consistency. Is to being consistent, and that's one thing with Dean Weber. You knew what side you knew what side he was on, and he didn't waver. He was very consistent.
I also like that he's somebody that wasn't born and raised in Arkansas, and came here.
He worked with Dean Smith. His first, he was with North Carolina with the great Dean Smith. Yeah,
and Dean Smith made a phone call to Arkansas, and the next thing you know, he's the head athletics director. The head athletic trainer, pardon me.
Yeah, that's the story. He had told me when he'd got the phone call like on a Friday, whatever. He flies out, gets here on and by Monday they had a box of hats that you had to turn in at the end of the year. This is they don't have all the swag, so to speak, that they get now. There's a box of hats. You reached in, you got you a hat, and then he said it just started that day, and then he worked every day.
From my experiences with mostly with professional baseball and also with the Razorback baseball team, and I would assume it's got to be the same with the training staff in football. Those are the salt of the earth guys. Those are the ones who, they're not just athletic trainers. They're not just people that worry about physical condition. In a lot of cases, and I didn't know this about Dean Weber, but apparently he handled the team travel for a long time too. They used to do that in the minor leagues a lot, and some of them still do. They're psychologists. They're relationship therapists.
They're mediators.
Mediators. That's right. Yeah. They're the ones that really kind of make the clubhouse or the locker room work in so many ways. You look at the coaches. The coaches trust those athletic trainers probably more than they do anybody else. So that's our theme for the show today. And there's a basketball game as well. 2 days from baseball season, Dave Van Horn had a non-Zoom press conference this morning that Grant Hall attended, and he'll be joining us in just a moment. And Clay Henry at the 12 o'clock hour for a couple of hours as well. Plus your calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline, memories of Dean Weber. And, I mean, if you want to do a Valentine's greeting, that's great. If you want to do an anti-Valentine's greeting, we will take your breakup stories here on Halftime as well. Don't break up with us. We'll be right back with more Halftime in Grant Hall in just a moment.
Brady Slavens sparks this team to Omaha, and the road show continues for the Arkansas Razorbacks. A 4-3 win, come from behind style in the ninth inning. The Razorbacks dogpiling on the field here in Chapel Hill with their 11th trip to the College World Series, and you can call them the Omahas.
Listen to every Razorback baseball game on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
0.9% financing on a new 23 or 24 GMC Sierra at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Save up to $6,500 off with factory rebates on a new GMC Sierra truck, or take $3,750 off with 0.9% financing or 2.9% financing for up to 72 months on Sierra 1500s. 6.2-liter engine excluded. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC Sierra from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Elect Judge Sam Terry to Fort Smith District Court on March 5th. Trusted, experienced, and fair, Terry is a former prosecutor and experienced attorney. Judge Terry has been appointed an Arkansas Supreme Court Special Associate Justice and shows his community commitment through numerous volunteer efforts. Vote Judge Sam Terry for Fort Smith District Court Judge on March 5th. The right experience and the right integrity. Early voting begins February 20th. Paid for by the Committee to Elect Sam Terry.
Whether you're fishing for coldwater bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, or fishing for a trophy brown trout on the mighty White River, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will catch them. It has that famous rolling action whether it's fished extremely slow or worked fast in heavy current. This rogue suspends, so it will stay in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Are you tired of looking at your old, grimy, and mildewy bathtub, looking to replace it with a beautiful walk-in shower, but cash is tight? For as little as $89 a month, no payments for 12 months for consumers who qualify, Remodeling Loans can put you into a beautiful new walk-in shower in as little as 1 day. You can rest easy knowing that Remodeling Loans, a network of certified contractors, screened and handpicked by us, offers premier products, top-rated service, and value, increasing the beauty, safety, and value of your home. A new walk-in shower will also provide you with a germ-free, slip-resistant, safe, and beautiful new bathroom. Call 800-921-1403 and take advantage of our holiday special of free installation. Our agents are standing by, ready to schedule your appointment with our design team at no cost and no obligation to you. All callers will receive a free upgrade of premium colors just for calling today. A beautiful new walk-in shower is now within reach. Call 800-921-1403. That's 800-921-1403.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
We were good, we were gold. Kind of dream that can't be sold. We were right till we weren't. Built a home and watched it burn. I didn't want to leave you, I didn't want to lie. Started to cry, but then remembered I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand, talk to myself for hours, see things you don't understand. I can take myself dancing, and I can hold my own head. Yeah, I can love me better than you can.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Back on halftime, we'll go to the McLarty Daniel hotline and visit with Grant Hall on a Wednesday. Grant, always appreciate talking with you today. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing well, but sad like everyone else. You know, I'm over here about 50 yards from the Razorback Foundation, where Dean Weber, was still coming in until a couple of months ago. And, of course, he's been quite ill for some time. I visited him in hospice maybe a couple of weeks ago. But Dave Van Horn had a press conference maybe 150 yards from where I'm parked right now, and he talked about how Dean he knew him, when Dave was playing at Arkansas in the 1981-82 school year. He knew him all the way back then, and said he loved baseball, and he took control of the room and got after guys. And Matt can appreciate that. Certainly, I heard your comments, Matt, earlier, and then I saw Marvin Caston a minute ago, and he said we lost a giant. He said it's funny. He said he dog cussed me and Anthony Lucas our whole freshman year until we realized that many liked us. And he said he came to my wedding, Heart of Gold, helped people for 50 years. And Dave mentioned that it's super sad day. We all loved him and he loved us. I mean, I can tell you personally, guys, that my wife and I and 3 children, all 5 of us, I would say saved us a lot of doctor's bills through the years by just looking at us for ailments real or imagined. And here's what's interesting to me about Dean. There were some old school trainers, and I go all the way back to remembering Bill Groundhog Farrell at Arkansas back when the training room was so small and bad that nobody wanted to be in there. That was the idea. The players just hated to be in there. And now we've got, whirlpools and all these.
Now it's requirements. You have to go by there for 30 minutes. Yeah.
It's lavish, but he had I would say, Matt, he had a football coach's mentality, and that helped so many guys. I remember one time Daryl Mason got hurt in a game and lost 4 teeth. He lost his front teeth, and Dean was treating him over there, and he said, Daryl, we can help you, but we can't do it till Monday or something. And the son of a gun went back in the game, and played. I mean, that's just how it was back then. I mean, I could talk all day about Dean Weber, but just really appreciate his personal kindnesses to me and my family.
He was kind of like a little MacGyver out there. Like if something was going on with you, he could figure it out. I had a hamstring issue at Starkville, Mississippi State my senior year, and he had this contraption. You know those stretch bands you use, and you put one under your foot and you just use your arm, and you see them all the time. So he taped one to my calf and to my hamstring and had some other pad on it where my leg wouldn't all the way go out. Kind of like the Mississippi State running back. If you remember last year when Mississippi State was up here at the university when they played. And I was out on one leg, but he had it going on, had you feeling right.
That's amazing. That's not a trademark contraption.
Never done it before, never done it since. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll never forget this story. One time, my 4-year-old boy was in there with me when I went into his office one time, and he had this pacifier, and so Dean just said, "Hey, let me see that," and he took it and put it in his desk drawer, and that was the end of the pacifier for that kid. Dean decided he was old.
He's old enough. That's funny.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Grant, the way that you're talking about him and the way that Clay has spoken about him, and Chuck, we're talking with Matt about what it was like to be on the inside of the locker room with him and what he did for him as a student athlete. And then, of course, the relationship went farther than that. But when I hear media members, talking about the friendship they developed with him, this also sounds like a bygone era. It's not. This isn't to me. This also, Grant, isn't like a value judgment on how the athletic department does things now. But I don't think many media members know. Dave Polanski, who's the football athletic trainer right now.
Yeah, I was going to make that same point today. And I'm almost wistful about it because I probably could go back and find at least 500 newspaper stories of mine that had trainer Dean Weber in the story. And Dean, I mean. Young writers, man, you had to pay your dues, and maybe it's 4 or 5 years, and then all of a sudden you go in there and he'd tell you about the a couple that you didn't ask about. But you know, Matt, you had to kind of earn your stripes with him. And but I mean, I so appreciated that. And I mean, now good luck trying to find about injuries about anybody. You know, excuse me. It's just a whole different. I mean, and part of I guess the HIPAA thing. You know, now there are ways that you don't have to talk about player injuries because you just don't have to.
Let's move on to some baseball. I know Dave Van Horn had a presser 10 o'clock this morning over at Baum Walker. It was not made available on Zoom, so I have no idea what it was that he said. Tell me what you heard today.
Well, I'd say the first thing people would probably want to know the rotation. It's a rare 4-game series with James Madison. So you got Hagen Smith, Brady Tigert, Mason Molina, and Colin Fisher in that order. Freshman Colin Fisher. They've mentioned that it's easier, probably a little bit easier maybe for freshmen to play early just because of all the things you have to know in baseball now and everything than position players. But Ben Bybee has had this hamstring. He tried to go a little bit indoors last week and didn't have his best stuff, so they're going to wait on him a little bit. Gabe Gackle of California is a good candidate who was close probably to being in that rotation. But he said the game will tell us what to do. And, of course, the big news item this week, I guess, about baseball was the injury to Peyton Stovall. He said it was really tough for me and him. Dave said, you're one of the strongest guys mentally on the team. You know, it's going to be a while before he can play, but typically he was standing in there taking a hit by pitch, and it got him on the foot. So another Peyton Holt will play second base. And Jared Sprague-Lott of Philadelphia, of all places, goes to third base. This James Madison team hit almost 300 last year. They got an outfielder named Trimble, who's really a tough out, but they don't know a whole lot about them. So they're going to watch. You know, Dave will watch batting practice closely and try to get an idea. And the other really interesting thing about this opener, besides the weather, because by the way, he'd like to move that thing up to like 1 o'clock, but they've got a flyover scheduled, and so it'll be probably 3 o'clock as scheduled on Friday. I believe that's right, isn't it, Phil? That's the right game time.
It is. It's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, but he said we're going to hit our catcher lead off, and that's Hudson White, who was the best hitter in the fall, I think, by average probably, from Kennett, Missouri, where Reese Robinette is also from, by the way, Kennett, Missouri. But that's unusual. He thought of Craig Biggio, I guess, did that in the major leagues. So they'll go kind of righty-lefty through the lineup. And, you know, it's they did a little bit of talk about the wireless communications that everybody's doing now. He calls the 20-second pitch clock the shot clock. But he said it does speed up the game. And, by the way, he also said that Dylan Carter is ahead of schedule, the pitcher from Bentonville who had Tommy John surgery. So hopefully we can see him sometime.
What's your level of belief in how good this team can be? I don't blame people for being skeptical just because of, the hype hasn't led to success this athletic season so far. But I view baseball independently because it's the most consistent program on campus outside of track.
Yeah, and by the way, someone told me the other day that women's track has got a great chance for national champions. I think the men may have a tougher time because they lost 20 points. You know, with the kid that the great jumper. You know, that's 20 points probably they lost from him. But yeah, baseball is always good. It's they had 10 injuries last year, Phil, as you know, and he talked at Swatters Club about that. I mean, that's the unknown, and you already got Stovall out for a while, and maybe another player or two that'll be a while. But if they can stay healthy, then I think there are grounds for this optimism that everybody has, and I've seen them enough to see the power they've got and the pitching depth. And so, it just should be a fun season.
Well, let's change it back to a little basketball, Grant. Devo came back. I thought that was kind of a regular Devo game. Didn't mess up a lot. Made the right basketball play. Had a little bit of everything in the stat column. Didn't really try to get too aggressive on offense, but just made the right play. I like Tennessee's guards. I really do. I think Tennessee has one of the best teams in the SEC. What are your thoughts on tonight? Any way we can slow Tennessee down?
Well, I don't like the fact they're coming off a loss. You know, it seems like anytime you think about maybe Arkansas pulling an upset, if they just lost to the previous team, which I think was A&M, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
and A&M just lost to Vanderbilt. If you saw that last night, yeah.
Yeah, they've lost twice at the buzzer, once to Arkansas and once to Vanderbilt. But Tennessee, as you know, Eric told us Monday, it could be a Final Four team, maybe even a chance for the whole thing. They've got 3 really good players back. Everyone knows about it. This Dalton Knecht could be the player of the year. I mean, he's averaging 26 in conference games. So that, to me, is a reason enough for fans to undertake the 8 o'clock starting time. Sometimes on Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, maybe there aren't quite as many fans. They only had probably, I would say, about 10,500 on Saturdays estimating. So they, you know, if you have a typical Bud Walton Arena crowd, we've seen this team beat Purdue and Duke and Texas A&M this year. So who knows? But, yeah, what you said yesterday, Matt, on paper it wouldn't look very good for Arkansas.
Yeah, that Zeller guy, he's been there seems like forever. Hey, Grant, I want to get your thoughts on the 24-year-old number 15 Mitchell on for the Arkansas Razorbacks, and just what has changed with him? What has flipped the switch? Because it just seems like he's been playing his best basketball as an Arkansas Razorback since his 24th birthday.
Yeah, the most simple way to say it is more playing time. I think he's gotten a chance lately, and he's averaging 14 and 8 or something the last few games. And I thought that one game they played through him, and I agree with you about Devo. By the way, I thought they played through Devo the other night, and he was probably a lot better than his stats would show. Made that great pass to Mitchell for that key layup, late in the game. And didn't try to do anything he could. I don't think he made a single mistake, maybe until the final minute or so in the game. So, and Eric's already told us he's going to play a lot of minutes this game. But yeah, you're right about Mitchell. I mean, if this team is going to shock anybody, or down the stretch, or in the tournament or something, in the conference tournament, he'll be a key player. Hey Matt, one other quickly, because I heard you mention Benson yesterday. You said Billy Bob Benson. I think it was Buddy Bob Benson.
Yeah, it was Buddy Bob.
Yeah.
I was.
But so your dad went to Ouachita, is that right?
Yeah, my dad, he played football. Him and his brother. He met my mom down there in racquetball class, and then here I am. But he played for Buddy Bob Benson down there at Ouachita Baptist. Yes, sir.
My parents went there, and my dad was at the 1954 Ole Miss Arkansas game at War Memorial Stadium that the 25 Little Pigs won on a pass from Buddy Bob Benson to Preston Carpenter. And the next Monday, I had a history professor tell me that Bowden Wyatt was still mad at Benson on Monday for running the wrong play, even though it was a winning touchdown pass. But that was the game a lot of people thought was kind of the beginning of modern Razorback football, where fans just went nuts, and they had that great Cotton Bowl season and went on from there.
Grant, wrap up here on a thought on you get to give a little soliloquy if you want on Valentine's Day or anti-Valentine's Day. It just depends on your situation in life and how cynical or optimistic you feel like being.
Well, if you're in the media, it's not always holidays aren't always like we got basketball tonight. So oddly enough, my wife went out last night. We've been married almost 46 years. It was around, I guess, 1977, around this time. It's the first time I called her. It was a blind date, by the way. That's how we met. And, I mean, she's just fantastic. I could talk the rest of the night about her, too, but I've been lucky.
Well, that's sweet. Appreciate that very much, Grant. Thank you very much for your time, and hope you enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Thanks, Grant.
It's Grant Hall, whose relationship with his wife is about as old as I am, by less than a month.
I'm glad Grant caught that, because I caught that later on yesterday about 8 o'clock in the evening. I was like, I said Billy Bob, didn't I? Instead of
Can't
Buddy.
be the only one who's ever made that mistake.
I know, but we were just talking. You just kind of, I was like, it's Buddy Bob. Yeah, but yeah, there you go.
Buddy Bob, Billy Bob. Well, yeah, there is a difference between the two of those. That is pretty cool, though. I mean, we got that connection for Grant with you. Oh, we can open up the McLarty Daniel hotline for you right now. That's 877-377-6963. It's like college football may be thinking about implementing a 2-minute warning. And here I am, I've been thinking all these years, why don't they have one already? Stay with Halftime. Right back.
If you're facing $10,000, $20,000, or even $30,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt, there are programs available that can consolidate those debts into one single reduced monthly payment you can afford if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief is on a mission to help you become debt-free in just 24 to 48 months. They've helped over 300,000 qualified consumers. Hardworking Americans just like you pay off more than $1 billion in debt, earning them an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Accredited Debt Relief will tailor the program to fit your specific budget and financial situation. So call Accredited Debt Relief now for your free no-obligation savings.
Video is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when He does, people will try and hide their faces from Him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor A from Woodland. Read about it.
the route, and there was a sporting goods store on Dixon called Best Sports, and they sold to the U of A and amongst other places, and they knew Dean real well. Well, I was delivering. I came out of my truck one day down on Dixon, and I stepped on the curb, and I rolled my ankle like I had never rolled it before. I mean, basically on crutches, just upper ankle sprain. So the guys at Best Sports, they give Dean a call. Said, hey, we'll send our UPS man up there. He rolled his ankle really bad. Can you take care of him? Dean said, send him up. So I go up to the training room, and Dean gets me set up with a whirlpool, hot whirlpool, and a bucket of ice. He said, now, here's what you do. You put that foot down in that hot whirlpool, I don't know, however long he said, and then you pull it out and you put it down in this bucket of ice. I said, thank you, sir. I'll do my best. And he left, and after about 3 attempts at doing that, I looked around. I didn't see Dean anywhere. I got up and limped out of there. That was the most painful thing I had ever endured in my life. It felt like somebody was shooting my ankles with needles after coming out of that hot water and plunging it into that bucket of ice.
That means it's working.
But did it work? That was my question, but did it work?
Oh, it worked.
I know that feeling right there. It's 1,000 needles, pins in my needles right there.
Oh, yes. But, you know, he didn't have to do that for me. He didn't have to. He did it for his buddies down there on Dixon Street. That's a sporting goods store. But, you know, just to allow some old young, dumb UPS driver that stepped on a curb to come in and use the facility, that's the kind of guy he was.
Without even asking for health insurance, proof of health insurance, Pinto. Man,
hey, you know what? Think if you even attempted to do that today, the liability coverage, you know, oh, no, you can't even come in the door if you fell and got hurt, you know, slipped on the floor and tripped. You'd sue us. It's just the good old days are not around anymore, boys.
Well, and in some cases that's a good thing, and in other cases not such a good thing. I think in your case, in your ankle's case, even with the 1,000 needles, it definitely helped out. Greg in Farmington is up next on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Good morning, Greg. How are you?
Happy Valentine's Day to all the couples out there. Happy Single Awareness Day for us single types. I got a Dean Weber. You know, I got to know Dean Weber through the years, working at Hog Heaven and some other Razorback shops here in Northwest Arkansas. But what really solidified everything is Dean and my mother shared the same doctor. And there were many times when my mom was going in for her treatments, and Dean would be coming in or coming out from his appointments, and he would sit there and we'd sit there and talk while my mom, if he didn't have anything place to be, Dean would sit there and visit with me while my mom was going through her treatments. And you know, it's like everybody says, you know, Dean had a heart of gold. You know, he was willing to help anybody, and so you hardly meet people like that, especially in this day and time where, you know, people are kind of standoffish and keep to themselves. But,
or there's usually another motive. When they're helping you, there's some other reason why they're doing it, and Dino didn't have that. No.
Right, exactly. You know, Dino was just a great guy. When I got the word last night, I mean, my heart sank. And so I just wanted to call and share those stories and memories. And like I say, I hope everybody has a great Valentine's Day, or in my Phil and Matt's case, Single Awareness Day. So everybody be good, and let's root on one for the Hogs tonight.
Sounds good, Greg. Appreciate your phone call. It's great talking with you. Thank you. We'll keep that McLarty Daniel hotline open for this next segment. Heck, we'll probably keep it open for the remainder of the show. 877-377-6963. Hey, Fish City Grill is a great place to be tonight for your Valentine's dinner or any other meal, especially this month with their jalapeno bacon mahi-mahi tacos. and a Matt Jones favorite, the blackened Texas redfish. You get Gulf shrimp and crab meat, butter, creamy Parmesan rice, sautéed green beans with the blackened Texas redfish. That's Fish City Grill, Rogers location, 2003 South Bellevue Road. They're open 11 until 10 Monday through Saturday, Sundays 11 till 9. They've got their favorites available for curbside pickup or delivery. So call 479-636-8833 or visit fishcitygrill.com. We'll wrap up hour number 1 in just a moment.
Save today. The Steubenville way. Steubenville, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Poto.
Everyone is invited to save on every vehicle on our lot.
Every vehicle on our lot. We're smashing and slashing prices that make us cry, but will make you want to buy. Want to borrow.
New and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Just like you see on TV.
Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, all on our lot. So come on over and save on the spot.
Save today. The Steubenville way.
Steubenville, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Poto.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Subiaco in Scranton, if you made a resolution to get reliable internet for the new year, Wave Rural Connect can make that happen. The latest zone covering Subiaco in Scranton is now open. Make this New Year's resolution come true with internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or phone 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is already chipping away at 2024. If you have never tried Joe's Chips and Salsa, you're missing a Tex-Mex treat. House-made salsa, made daily with fresh veggies, even carrots. Try their sizzling fajita skillets, crunchy tacos, and their enchiladas with a homemade sauce is the best around. Plus a full bar and TVs all around the restaurant. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Do you need an oil change but don't have time to drop off your car? S&J Express Lube will let you sit in your car while they do the work, and it only takes about 15 minutes with no appointment needed. Prices start at $35.99 for a 20-point inspection service. S&J Express Lube is open Monday through Friday 9 till 6 and Saturdays 8 till noon. You'll find them at 14818 Highway 71 South in Jenny Lind. Check them out on Facebook too. S&J Express Lube, your authorized Castrol dealer in Sebastian County. They are waiting on you now.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leaf-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
At A&P Auto Sales, we take pride in the way we do business. We focus 100% on our customers and believe car buying should be a fun, hassle-free experience. We will work with your budget and offer a dependable car at a price you can afford. Bank financing is available with approved credit, or cash is always accepted. Hop on over to 1202 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren and choose from a wide selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Contact us today at 353-1246 or check us out online at apautosales.net. Find your next car at A&P Auto Sales in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away. I've got to get away from the pain you drive into the heart of me. The love we share seems to go nowhere, and I've lost my life. toss and turn, I can't sleep at night. Once I ran to you, now I'll run from you. This tainted love you've given, I give you all a boy could give you. Take my tears and that's not nearly all.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Look at this little piece of information coming out of The Athletic. Chris Vanini reporting a few hours ago, college football officials are expected to discuss the idea of adding a 2-minute warning to games. They'll have a rules committee meeting by the end of the month. So this would be the same committee, Matt, that I guess they didn't they recommend keeping the clock running after incomplete passes, but voted against that. Still, they changed some of the rules. Games were about, I think, 4 minutes shorter. So now, if part of the rules changed from last year with the clock was to fit games into a television window a little better. And yes, I know some of it's also about player safety and fewer plays. I think there were just like 4 or 5 fewer plays per game. Well, now we're potentially adding another commercial break in here. I never quite understood or understand why college football and the NFL are different as far as the 2-minute warning. And reading the story, I didn't realize this. The 2-minute warning was instituted in the NFL in the early 40s because the referee had the only clock, according to this story. So it's not like you had the clock on the scoreboard to look at. It was just the referee. Everybody would have to wonder themselves, how much time is left? Well, 2 minutes left in the first half and second half. The referee would let you know with a 2-minute warning. We don't do that in college football, though, but I'd assume it'd be the same situation with the clocks. So what do you think, does this matter much to you? Because it does change the strategy at the end of games.
It gives you another timeout for both teams and to catch your breath and to go over there. They do a lot of, at least in basketball, they do so many reviews. It's kind of seem redundant to have a 2-minute warning. You remember the movie School Ties with your boy Brendan Fraser and Matt Damon?
Yeah, Matt Damon playing the anti-Semitic punk.
But the clock they have on the football field, you remember that clock? Do you know when that clock just looks like a watch and it's rolled? So that's what the 2-minute warning was made for. Was back when you didn't know the time. Now we know the time. I think that you should just cut it out altogether. But they're not
in the NFL too.
They're not going to. It's too much of a crutch. It's that timeout. It's what you're getting. It stops the clock. In the college game they used to stop the clock on first downs, so you didn't really need a 2-minute warning. So it just kind of lets you stop the clock and get ready for one last
But doesn't the clock stop on first downs within the last 2 minutes now? So it really would give you like a real delineation between, well, now we actually know. Well, everybody knows because they're looking at the clock. But if you treat in those last 2 minutes differently than the other 58 minutes, then and really it's really not just the 58 minutes, it's 56 minutes because you're doing it at the end of the first and second half. Then I'm all right with this. It just to me feels weird that if we were trying to speed the game up a little bit, well, this just kind of, I think, lengthens it back to where it might have been previously. And it is more than just one break.
All the media members, all the commercials, all the how did they make money? Every single one of them voted for the 2-minute warning commercial break. That's just another way you put the ads in, and you get to go for 90 seconds and do your commercials and make more money. They're not worried about the player safety. They're not worried about the flow of the game. They're worried about their bottom line.
Yeah, the story says the 2-minute warning idea could provide help for clock, rule change, and commercial break purposes.
That's it. They put that last because they think they're sneaky.
Let's open up that McClarty Daniel hotline. Clay Henry joins us in a moment, 877-377-6963. Stay with halftime.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. Sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
This year, upgrade your home to safe, convenient, and energy-efficient natural gas from Arkansas Oklahoma Gas. Skip the prepayments and delivery issues, and enjoy the peace of mind knowing that your natural gas is always there when you need it. And we can help make converting your home easy and affordable too. For heating, hot water, cooking, and more, it's time to upgrade to safe, reliable, and energy-efficient natural gas. Visit AOGC.com to learn more. AOG, energy for life.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will climb up into the mid-60s. Mainly clear sky tonight. An overnight low will drop down into the low 40s. Lots of sunshine right around 60 on Thursday. And then we will wind down the week on Friday with a chance of some rain. Our high falling to the 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
This weather update is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve you.
I hate everything you just said.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
But they were one Razorback.
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Here we go. Right now, let's take the field back.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back into halftime on a Wednesday afternoon. Love is in the air for some of us, not for others. We got basketball tonight. We got baseball on Friday. I'm Phil Elson with Matt Jones and the C Unit, Christian Johnston producing. And welcoming in on the McClarty Daniel hotline for the remainder of this Wednesday edition of Halftime is the one and only Hall of Famer, Clay Henry. Clay, good afternoon. How you feeling today?
I'm doing just fine, guys.
Yep. Very good. Very good. We got to get right in here to your remembrances of Dean Weber and something that we'll be hitting on with you over the next couple of hours. And man, I got to say, it feels rare to me. I love hearing Matt Jones's remembrances of Dean, and I've heard a lot of stuff off the air from Matt about Dean, from what started as a relationship between athlete and athletic trainer, and certainly turned into lifelong friends pretty quickly after that. We talked with Grant Hall about it, media member. We've just had regular listeners calling in that had personal memories of Dean Weber, fans. I mean, just kind of a regular average Joe off the street in some cases, which you just don't hear that about a lot of people that were in the position that Dean Weber was in. And I know you, as someone who's covered the Razorbacks so closely throughout most of your life, that yesterday and today is to be a little bit difficult for you.
Yeah, so I've got 50 years being around Dean, and hanging with my dad or some others, and he would be right there, and he was one of the kingpins, Razorback royalty. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to put it. I've spent most of the morning either talking about him on the early show with Tommy and Ty, or I'm working on a piece for Hogs Plus, and I've reached out to a lot of former players and coaches in different sports. Robert Cox, Norm DeBryan, Lewis Campbell, Houston Nutt, and got their stories. And one of the things Houston reminded me, and I guess I'd just forgotten it, how much of a close confidant he was to Coach Broyles. And when they were doing things like to change the stadium or build new locker rooms, and Dean would lay it out because he knew where things needed to be. Where do you need to have the ice machine? Where you need to have this? I mean, this is all, the guts of that building. He knew what was needed, and Coach Broyles deferred. And Houston talked about a Thursday night meeting at 10 o'clock he always had with Dean, and no other staff in there. And he said it was the most important meeting he had every week. And he knew what players needed to have, maybe to be jacked up a little bit, maybe to be, stroked a little bit, maybe who was down, who was, who had something going on at home. And I had not thought about it in these terms, but Houston said late in life, most trainers don't, the head trainer does not tape ankles. Dean never stopped taking ankles all the way to the end. He wanted to be there. He wanted to be beside his other trainers. There might be 10 trainers taping ankles. Matt could probably speak on that, but that Dean was going to tape ankles, and he was going to tape certain ankles every time.
That hits to me a little bit on one thing that about. Every athlete gets their ankle taped before they go out onto a football field. That's an opportunity, no matter how, like you said, how high you've been raised inside the athletic department or inside the athletic training department. In this case, that's getting one-on-one with everybody, because at some point you're going to tape their ankle. You get a chance to look in their eye, maybe talk a little bit or not. I mean, it's just laying hands on feet. It's a personal thing. So, I mean, to me, I didn't know Dean Weber. I think I met him once or twice, but that speaks to, I think, the humanity of the person and the need for him, or at least the understanding of that's a way to at least have one-on-one time with people that maybe you wouldn't if you would not be just taping ankles.
Yeah, it's he was really gifted, and I'm sure he was a psychologist in a way, but he could make a player understand that, yeah, you're hurting, but you can still play, and this is why you should still play, and this isn't something that's going to cause you to be, a cripple or, lose your way to the NFL. But this, what you've got is what I've seen, and he can name off the players that had played with that particular injury and how they got through it, how long it was going to take. And it was going to bother you for a little while, but you can still, we'll get you through it. Houston said that he was a freshman in two-a-days getting his ankle taped by Dean Weber, and R.C. Tillman and Greg Cook, who were seniors, picked him up and threw him into cold tub. And the whole place just erupted, and he climbed out, hugged him, cursed him, got back to taping ankles. But the relationship that he had with those guys was really unusual, and he didn't understand it at first, but he says, by the time that he was back as a head coach, he did understand it, the love that everybody had for Dean and the trust that he built as a trainer. Darren McFadden, the same thing. And there's some unique stories that Darren told me a little while ago that, he said, I said, well, tell me about the conversation. He goes, well, you can't write them.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, what do you mean you can't? He said, well, they're a little bit too colorful for the printed word.
We're not talking about needing a color printer in that case either.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, but he's like, he said I could call him, and he says even after I was done, I call him every week, or he called me every week, no matter where I was. I'd back, in the off season, I was like, I'd like to go rabbit hunting, and he called me back. This is where you can go. This is where there's some land, and this is the code, and this is where you need to go to take your grandpa and hunt your rabbits. And pretty cool to have Darren McFadden hunting rabbits on your land, right?
Yeah. Matt, I've had some, and with my experience, it's always going to go back to baseball. I've had some experiences with baseball managers, not trainers, but baseball managers that you wonder, the first month or two that you're working with them, it's like, why does this guy not like me? Why am I always getting some crap from this guy? What's going on here? And you just realize that's the way. If they didn't like you, if they didn't want to get to know you a little bit, they wouldn't give you that crap. And then a month later, 2 months later, there might be a moment where, you gotta go nose to nose, and everybody kind of from that point on, it's a matter of respect between two people. How long did it take for you as a freshman to realize, what Dean Weber was about, and that he probably just liked you and he was just going to give you crap? And when did that melt away for you, like any intimidation you might have felt about him?
Yeah, well, being raised on the sideline as a baby, my dad being a football coach and being around it, you kind of know not to speak until you're spoken to when you're a freshman. You haven't made any plays yet.
Not every freshman knows that, right?
Well, Yeah, you're right. And so, but being raised around it, it doesn't happen overnight. You get a chance to know each other. It's a beautiful thing when you have a relationship with somebody and you trust each other, and there's not a lot of lie. Nobody's lying to each other. It's all out of love and respect, and you have a common goal. It was pretty cool.
Got Charlie on the McLarty Daniel hotline, and then we'll break here. Charlie, good afternoon. How you doing today?
I'm great, guys. I guess it's a special day for some of us, Valentine's Day. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to say any more than that. I will say, though, I am the tuna today, 100%. Maybe we can edit some of this out. But, I'm not, it is Valentine's Day. And I understand all that, Phil, but, the tuna is not driving 2 hours during the week after work for nobody for Valentine's Day at this point in his life. Okay, and I got a couple, there's a couple women in my life that they think that I should be doing that, and I'm like,
Charlie's got a collection going on, I guess.
No collection. No collection, Phil, just two. Okay, just two.
That's not a harem, but you're headed that direction.
It's more than most, Charlie.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to, I'm letting them know, look, I said the words that I needed to say, and I'm not, not doing it right now, and the team's not doing it.
You have this habit, Charlie, of saying you're not going to get into something. They need to get into it. You better be careful. You're going to get yourself into trouble.
You're right. You're right. They may be listening right now. I better just go on something else. It's like the whole basketball thing last week. Anyway, hey, Matt, did you see the whole thing where the Warriors were talking about, they're going to make a trade for LeBron, and it just didn't happen? Did you see that story?
To think about.
No, I did not.
Do what?
Apparently, there was the rumor of ownership to ownership talks, Lakers to Warriors, to send LeBron to the Warriors, which didn't happen, obviously, because the deadline already passed. But Woj reported on this. So if he reported on it, or Ramona Shelburne did too, I mean, these are respected journalists. This must have happened.
Yeah, it did. I believe it if it came from Woj. Him and most time Rappaport for the NFL. I like to listen to them, and Schefter a lot too, I guess, for the most part. But yeah, man, the only reason I would say it probably didn't happen, if I'm the Lakers and I'm trading LeBron James, you better give me Jonathan Kuminga, Klay Thompson, maybe a pick, something. It would have been Steph and LeBron and probably not much else over there at this point. And if you really think about it, because LeBron's about to be a free agent, and I don't think Bronny's going to get drafted. And what I think is going to happen is Bron can sway somebody, because whoever he can sway to pick up Bronny, I think he goes there unless it's just a really bad team. Because he's about to be a free agent. And, I mean, I'm not saying that he's going to leave the Lakers, but if he wants to play with his son, and if his son wants to play with him, I think that's possible. And if it's the Warriors, I would like to see Steph and Bron team up, but I don't think you'd be able to keep, that whole core together. That'd be the only issue. But, it's probably smart on both ends, because you don't have to trade all that away to get LeBron. You could just wait till this offseason. Now, he is about to be 40. I keep thinking like you, Matt, how in the world is he still playing at this level? It makes absolutely no sense to me. Him and Tom Brady somehow just keep getting younger. And I'm just old. I just keep getting older. So it is what it is. Clay, these two over here, and I agree with them, didn't give much of a shot tonight in the game. If we were going to somehow pull off the upset tonight against Tennessee, how would we do it? I guess you'd say we got to play a perfect game probably, and they got to play bad. But anyway, I just wanted to see what you thought about that. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Charlie. Do you guys ever notice when Charlie says, I'm not going to talk about that, then that's exactly what he was going to talk about? There are habits here. I pick up on some of these
That's like when
habits.
they say, this is not about the money, it's about the money.
That it's always about the money. Then it is probably strictly about the money. So when Charlie says, I don't want to talk about that, then that is absolutely what he called to talk about. Yeah, and you get a text in here who's probably right about this from Ryan in Prairie Grove. He says, if you say you got two women, it's like having two quarterbacks. It means you don't have one. I think he might be right. All right, we'll keep that McLarty Daniel hotline open for if you want to dig your own grave with whomever it is you're seeing these days. 877-377-6963. And we'll be right back.
Deep three on the way, and it's good. Outlet to Devo. It is over.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor A from Woodland. Read about it.
Go figure. Maybe it's for a sense of humor. I don't know.
I know, but I think it's a dance tune. You know, it's like it's you know, it's a slow dance tune. I don't know. Somebody maybe can explain that. But they say they were disgusted that that's what was happening to that song. But finally they're like, well, just go with it, man.
Yeah. Nobody needs to be sending in Every Breath You Take. Anybody that plays that on this day or on weddings, you're in love with a stalker. That's a creepy song.
That is creepy.
That is an A1 creepy song, but it's also one of the greatest. I love that song.
Which was the George Strait that
Take It Away. Ryan and Prairie Grove sent it in. Take It Away.
That's it, yeah. Well, I Hate Everything's pretty good.
Full-Hearted Memory.
See, I'm telling you,
She'll leave you with a smile.
More songs about heartbreak and getting cheated on, and
country western is like, that's real life, dude.
That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is all about. We have a basketball firing at Ohio State University. This coming out just about 30 minutes ago. It looks like Chris Holtmann is out before the end of his 7th season at Ohio State. 4-10 in the Big Ten, 14-11 overall, and has more than $14 million on a fully guaranteed contract. So they're going to get rid of him and look for something else. Meanwhile, Ohio
no heartbreak there.
Oh, no. Ohio State's women's team is right now 2nd in the nation. Did you see Shaq had his number retired yesterday by the Magic? Number 32. He's had his number retired now 3 times by the Heat.
LSU.
By the did the Lakers retire his number too? I mean, you win a couple of.
Well, he was 34. He was 34 at the Lakers. 36 with the Celtics. 34 with the Suns. 32 with the Magic. He was there. He was. Remember, he was the Big Shaq Cactus. You know, like for when he played at Phoenix. You just put Shaq in front of anything.
Was he there at Phoenix for like half
his?
I did not remember that nickname.
Yeah, he's the Big Shaq Cactus.
That's
Diesel.
A good one.
The Diesel. That's his name. That's right.
No, he's had his uniform number retired by the Heat, the Lakers, and now the Magic. And only Wilt Chamberlain has had a number retired in the NBA by 3 different teams: Lakers, Sixers, and Warriors. I'm trying to rack my brain here about a baseball player that's had his number retired by 3 teams.
That was at the Philadelphia Warriors, though. Was it the Golden State Warriors, or were they?
No, they weren't Golden State. Then it might have been. He played. That's the team he played. No, it wasn't Philadelphia Warriors.
Okay, I thought when he scored the 100, he was he was with Philadelphia.
I think so. So maybe did the 76ers retire his number because he played in Philadelphia?
But it was one of those deals when we talk about the Texans or the Oilers or the Titans, who is right. Who. That's what I'm saying. They kind of got lost in translation. I don't think the Sixers claimed that Philadelphia team.
No, I don't think they do. But the city would, and so the city would want to claim Wilt. So yeah, I didn't even think about that because he didn't play for the 76ers ever. Yeah, that one doesn't make too much sense to me. So that put Shaq by himself. For somebody that's had his number retired by 3 teams that he actually played for. That's about right. Pistol Pete, according to Scott, had his number retired by 3 teams. 1 that he never played for. So what would that be? Did the New Orleans, did the Hornets retire his number there too?
Played at Atlanta. He played for the Jazz. He was on that Celtics team but didn't play. One of those last teams, yeah.
Well, he's also got a building named after him on campus at LSU, so that'll stand apart, I think, in this case. Yeah, the Pelicans. I didn't know they moved there. They were the Hornets of the Pelicans. So they did retire his name because the name Pistol Pete means a lot in New Orleans, just like the name Wilt Chamberlain. I don't know how much it means right now in Philadelphia, but it certainly used to mean quite a lot. Here's a story on the McLarty Daniel hotline, guys, about Dean Weber from Jamie in Fayetteville. Word for word. I took a student job under Dean Weber for a year or so while enrolled at Arkansas. He was so nice, funny, and didn't talk down to me at all. An influence to me, even though my interactions with him were few. I love hearing that kind of thing. I love the idea of somebody treating everybody equally, which I don't think is really easy to do. It seems to me, Clay, didn't matter if you were star, scholarship athlete, walk-on, intern in this case, assistant, athletics director, freshman student, whatever. It sounds like Dean Weber treated everybody pretty much just about equally.
Well, I'm going to change that just a little bit. He treated everybody equally for what they deserved. And if there was somebody that was a no count or, lollygagger or whatever, lackadaisical or whatever, first of all, he'd tell you that you were. And those people needed to pick it up to get the same treatment, everybody. But if you were a good person, solid, then that's the kind of way he treated you. He gave it right back to you. But he had no use for those that. So those people aren't going to speak up because they know who they are and they got what they deserve. But Dean was hard on those people. And they didn't deserve his time, and but it's the top end people that you hear talking about it because that's what they got. They got back the top end of Dean Weber. And Matt, am I close on that?
You know, Dino, he was a lot of things to a lot of different people. He understood the macro view and the micro view. He had a way of alleviating any anxiety you had of anything that was going on. He kind of just painted a picture for you and always had a plan. You know, Clay, like anytime you were injured or anything, he had a plan for you, and you got to. And he talked with you. He's very fluid with you. He wanted you to feel good. He wanted you to be happy and healthy, whatever you're doing. The one of the coolest things about whenever you had to go get rehab, maintenance, all the stuff you had to go, treatment, he would almost give you options, kind of like make it where it's your choice, just so you're happy to be. I mean, he was just a joy to work with. He really was.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I talked with Norm DeBryan today and Lewis Campbell, and those three had coffee almost every morning for about 20 years. And Robert Cox said that he'd crash in on those two, tennis coach, and he said, you talk about wisdom in the room. Norm spoke. He said, when you're a head coach, sometimes you're a lonely person. It's there's a lot of pressure, and he says, I could go to Dean, and that pressure would just kind of dissipate, and it like. He could verbalize some things that were bothering him, and Dean would kind of cut to the chase. Well, it's like it's either this or it's this. Which is it, Coach? Well, I think it's this. And he says, well, you didn't go with it. But he was a great listener, and he could help you make decisions. And sometimes tough to say. Head coach has got to have somebody you really trusts.
That's a good point. He didn't listen just for his turn to talk. He listened with intent and to carry on the conversation and to further it. Absolutely.
Just the thought of Dean Weber and Norm DeBryan at the same table. I mean, you talk about elder statesmen. I mean, people that were in that athletic department, and I mean, Norm is still connected to it with the Razorback Foundation and has been for a long, long time. I think was Frank Broyles the only other employee in the athletic department that was tenured longer than any of those two.
I think that's right. Yeah,
that's three of them right there. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, because he hired those guys.
Wow. All right, we'll continue on halftime in just a moment. Remember, Joe's Grilling Cantina is chipping away at 2024. You don't find any better chips and salsa than at Joe's Grilling Cantina, and they bring it to you as right as you sit down at your table. They make it daily. Who likes carrots in the salsa? Well, they put carrots in the house-made salsa every day at Joe's Grilling Cantina. Make sure to ask about the sizzling fajita skillets, crunchy tacos, and my favorite, their enchiladas. Plus a full bar, TVs all around. That's a great place to watch Arkansas and Tennessee tonight. Joe's Grilling Cantina, 3400 South 74th, right across from Harps and Fort Smith. joesportsmith.com and the Waiter app to order. We'll be back on halftime after this break.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is halftime.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. Sign up now for Pascal's Planned Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The 102nd annual opening day for Razorback Baseball is Friday, February 16th at 3, inside college baseball's best ballpark, Baum Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. fireworks, a pregame flyover, ballpark giveaways, and more highlight this unofficial state holiday. The top-ranked Hogs taking the diamond for the first time in 2024. It's an extended 4-game series Friday through Monday, so use your tickets, or if you need them for opening weekend, visit ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
At A&P Auto Sales, we take pride in the way we do business. We focus 100% on our customers and believe car buying should be a fun, hassle-free experience. We will work with your budget and offer a dependable car at a price you can afford. Bank financing is available with approved credit, or cash is always accepted. Hop on over to 1202 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren and choose from a wide selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Contact us today at 353-1246 or check us out online at apautosales.net. Find your next car at A&P Auto Sales in Van Buren.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Husbands, sons, daughters, honor your wife or mother for Mother's Day at the inaugural Mystery at the Fort Legacy Ball, benefiting Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center on May 11th at the U.S. Marshals Museum. Buy your tickets today for this 1940s mystery dinner, coupled with an exciting night of investigative entertainment and lively dancing with the band Who Shot JR. For more information, call 479-452-2260.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start. Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude. Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
Call Jason Hill in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
8 o'clock tip-off. Well, I guess 8:02 is when they usually tip it off tonight. But Walton Arena, Chuck and Zim will have the courtside show starting at 7:30 on this ESPN Arkansas affiliate that you're listening to right now. Tennessee, they got to be coming in angry after an 85-69 loss at A&M. But remember, I mean, a week before they'd beaten Kentucky, putting up 103 at Rupp, and then A&M holds them to 69 points. It's going to be a tough team to slow down. They can really score. 82 points a game in conference, 47% shooting. And, man, the thing that stands out about Tennessee, to me, guys, is point guard play, which definitely separates them from Arkansas this year. They assist on 60% of their baskets in the SEC. Ziegler, the point guard, has 69 assists in 10 games. So you remember how sometimes with Arkansas they're a little bit stationary. This Tennessee team is going to move that ball around, and they know how to find the open man, and a lot of times the open man is Dalton Connect.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about the way Tennessee plays. Hard cuts, really solid screens, very effective screens. They're not moving. I mean, they set up properly. They turn their man into the screens, but the hard cuts, that gets you open. And off the ball screens, hard cuts, and then they've got people open, and that leads to passes that turn into assists. So you have to, your help defense, you have to be able to protect the rim with from the cutters, and it's some teams can do that. Some teams they get caught up in that, the off-ball screens. And I think that's the hardest thing for a defender, is that you turn your head and all at once you're screened. In other words, you're watching the ball, and then there's somebody who comes from the offside and they screen you, and it is a physical, tough, hard screen. And your man cuts, and so the screener's man has to be aware to help. And it's, switches on screen. There's a lot of teams that'll switch on ball screens, but off ball screens it's much tougher to switch, and that's where people come open.
They have the best point guard in the SEC. If you remember right, last year Zakai Ziegler got hurt, and Tennessee wasn't the same. He's just a vet, and I don't mean the best like Anthony Black, like he's going to be a first-round pick. I don't know that he has NBA that's going to happen. But as far as what you want in an SEC point guard, he is the number one point guard in the SEC. If his game's on, and you're right, they got a lot of shooters. They got athletes. They got people that can go. But Phil, his stat line, the last time he hasn't had at least 6 assists in a game, like once in the last 4-5 games. And then you look at steals, 3 steals, 5 steals, 4 steals, 6 assists, 9 assists, 13 assists. I mean, that's what you want in a point guard. He is not a score-first point guard. Now, he can fill it up, but he's trying to get watch him play the game of basketball, and, man, you're going to fall in love with his game because he knows he plays the game the right way. We don't have – I wonder, like, if you put Devo on him, I don't know that that's the smartest move, Clay. Like, I think you got to put Devo on number 3. That's their guy.
That's Connect. Yeah.
But how are you gonna? I just don't think we match up at all with this team.
Yeah, there isn't a defensive point guard on this team. That's been the problem, and he can straight line drive to the rim, and that really presents problems for this team. But boy, you love to play with a guy like this, because if you're open, and you better have your hands ready, because he's going to put it on you. Mm-hmm. And he's going to put it on you. There's a pass, and then there's a pass that's ready to be a shot. And his passes, whether they're lobs, whether they're backhand passes, whatever. I mean, they're going to be where you catch and then you can shoot. You're not reaching back for it. You're not reaching up for it. It's going to put you in that, that, what do you call it, the triple threat position. Mm-hmm. It's going to arrive, and you can do anything with it, especially shoot.
See, Tennessee half a game in back of Auburn for third place in the SEC at 7-3. Arkansas 3-7. Hogs are only 3.5 games out of last place, behind 0-11 Missouri, and hopefully they keep losing all their games here. The other game tonight, guys, is South Carolina at Auburn. This ought to be a fun game because you get a high-powered offense in Auburn that are averaging 84 points in SEC wins, and the Gamecocks, who haven't allowed 70 points in the last 22 games. So This one, hey, if the Arkansas-Tennessee game gets out of hand, like we've seen some games get in the first 5 to 7 to 8 minutes, I may flip over and watch the Gamecocks and the Tigers.
So what time does that game start?
It starts 30 minutes before.
Okay.
It's SEC Network 7:30, Arkansas's ESPN 2:8.
Got it. Listen to Matt.
Well, I got to work tonight, Clay, pulling a double shift today, so I got to be on top of it.
So you're the reaction guy?
I've been delivering the post-game eulogy most games afterwards.
That's what it's
yeah.
been.
Yeah.
That's likely what it's going to be now. But let me just say, when you play Arkansas in Bud Walton Arena, you better bring your
That used
your
to be the
bucket.
thing, Clay. They
I
have
still
let
think
me down this year, man.
I think they're in a little surge.
Okay.
And I think they
they're
probably
bouncing back.
got a little bit of confidence. They're more full strength. and it looks like he's figured out who he's going to play. So
trusts.
there's not as much confusion about, okay, this is my role. Then I think when you know your role, you play with more confidence, and I think that's kind of what's happening. And I think they're going to probably rotate 2 or 3 guys on Ziegler. That's my guess.
You can't let him get comfortable. He's so good. I think he's the best point guard in the SEC.
And they do this some when they have a guy that they really fear with the ball. Muss will just go doubling, just make him give up the ball. He might go back and get it again.
Make other people make the plays. That's right.
Yeah, and so that might be what you see some. If I can't remember what the kid's name was, but Auburn came in here with the hot shot freshman, and he was just cutting them up, and they just took the ball out of his hand. They doubled him when he got to half court, and he had to give it up. And that's we've seen that with Coach Musselman. If there's somebody that they think is going to hurt him, they just go take the ball out of his hand by making him pass.
So with Devo back and getting the kind of minutes I guess that you expect from him, and L. Ellis, who this was what just kind of blows me away, did not play against Missouri or LSU, plays nearly the entire game against Georgia, and had his best game as a Razorback. So you're hoping that you see something along those lines in this one tonight from L. But does that mean that Caleb Battle's role continues to be diminished? Because he hasn't been on the court much in the last couple of games.
Well, here's the deal with Eric Musselman. There's always a surprise right around the corner.
Well, you're right. This year there certainly has been.
Whether it be playing time or whether it be reliance, whether he calls somebody's number, and every time I see Battle, he puts up a shot that you think, boy, he's coming out. It's not any, that was, I can't remember which game it was. He turned his ankle. He's laying out of bounds. He jumps up. Ball comes to me. He can only stand on one ankle, and he shot it anyway. And then, then limped off the court. He's done. It's like, what? I've never seen somebody that wants to shoot it in the dead corner when he's only got 1 foot he can put weight on. But that guy's going to get his shot.
He's not lacking confidence, Clay.
Well, that's one way to put it.
You got to rein him in a little. You play with players like this before. You kind of got to you don't want to box him in too much because you got to let him be free and be an artist. But he does have to have some parameters. He does have to have, like you said, Clay. He does have to know his role. You do have to know when it's a time and place.
I get it. You don't ever tell Todd Day that's a bad shot.
So you got to let him play.
But he's not Todd Day.
Right.
Yeah, there's a little bit of daylight between Caleb Battle and Todd Day, just a little bit. Look at this. Tennessee is an 8.5-point favorite on Bet-Sarazen at Bud Walton tonight. Hogs would be a double-digit underdog if this game was being played at Thompson Bowling Arena. And, you understand the reasons why.
Correct.
They've got all sorts of prop bets on Bet-Sarazen right now as well, including method of first basket for either Arkansas or Tennessee. If an Arkansas free throw is the first basket, that's plus 1750. We'll see if that actually does happen. And Tennessee actually allows more free throws than they make in SEC play, so that'd be an interesting one to look at. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. And you hear those odds and the prop bets on Bet-Sarazen right now. They got quick bet specials for tonight's game, double our prop bets, and a boost where you get plus 300 for Arkansas, plus 8.5, and over 151 points. That's on your Bet-Sarazen app. If you don't have it, download it. If you got an Apple iPhone, go to the App Store. If you got an Android phone, go to Google Play. They got it right there for you. Or you can go to any web browser and type it in, betsarazen.com. It's Arkansas's favorite sports betting app, but you got to be inside the state of Arkansas in order to use it. We'll wrap up the second hour of halftime in just a moment.
Are you interested in saving money on your heating bills and upgrading your home's energy efficiency? Now's the time. Installing or upgrading to natural gas allows you to take advantage of high-efficiency appliances that save energy and money. From furnaces to water heaters to gas dryers and fireplaces, there's a natural gas option to fit your home and your budget. What's not to love about that? Don't wait. Call AOG today at 800-842-5690 or visit AOGC.com to learn more. AOG, energy for life.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
If you've lived in the River Valley for a while, you know about the great reputation of Jam Mart. And their newest location at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith is open. Stop by for coffee, gas, beer, snacks, ices, and a clean restroom every time. Don't forget about the hot deli and fresh-made burgers. Now 7 locations in Fort Smith, Greenwood, Boonville, Ozark, and Danville. Sign up for their loyalty program for discounts throughout the stores. Jam Mart, the leading convenience store and gas station in the region.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
Roses are red, violets are blue. If I had your bank account, I'd worry about alimony too. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Call today for a free consultation and ask about our special pricing for new divorce filings in February. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Eat into the new year with Arts Barbecue on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Arts has many lighter menu options available, from grilled chicken to fish to low-carb entrees, plus delicious sides. And since Arts smokes all of their meats in-house, the ham, turkey, and other meats that top their handmade salads make these choices easy and delicious. And don't forget, all burgers are $1 off every Saturday. Arts Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Drag my name all over the place.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
All right, we got C-Unit watching another Swayze movie this week. Clay, I don't know if we've talked much Patrick Swayze with you. Do you have a feeling on one of the greatest actors of our modern era, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago?
Well, let's see. What was?
Well, he watched Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
He watched Red Dawn last weekend, and he's watching Point Break this weekend.
And I've seen Dirty Dancing.
And now he's seen Dirty Dancing. So, I mean, this is a real educational set of weekends.
Should he have to watch Donnie Darko? I think that might be the best of all those movies that Swayze's in.
It's one of the weirdest, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've got mixed feelings about him. You know, it's Dirty Dancing to me was just like, okay, this is too cheesy.
It's not going to be on at his house tonight. Would you rather watch Urban Cowboy, which is what Cody from Blue Ball said that he and his wife will be watching tonight?
That's pretty good. Yeah.
I've always connected Valentine's Day to riding the mechanical bull. These things definitely work in tandem together.
Have you ridden a mechanical bull?
I have never ridden a mechanical bull. I don't know if I see the day that will happen. I haven't ridden a real bull. Don't I want to ride the real thing first before I can compare it to a piece of metal?
I've ridden horses, and that's as far as I'm going to go.
Matt's ridden the mechanical bull. I think it's called playing football.
Well, you can get hurt on both of them.
The golf cart. That's the best mechanical bull I know.
You know,
of.
I think I would pay to be at the controls and put Ty on a mechanical bull.
I have a feeling, okay, here would be the equivalent. You and Chuck with Ty in the morning, the two of you together going 2-on-1 with Ty. You guys can, be the bucking bull here in the case. You could definitely throw Ty off the air. I've heard it happen before.
It doesn't take much.
No.
Oh gosh, Monday we were talking about, how you get somebody's attention or whatever, and I was like, I want that. So Travis Kelce, he bumped into his coach, and how does his coach react? And I was like, wouldn't it be great if Ty, just like bumped into Tommy, and Tommy turned around and just slapped him?
I don't know how you take those kind of things sometimes. That would be a difficult. Nobody's ever slapped me before while we were doing a show or a game.
But we're lucky that I'm in Norfolk and Ty is in Fort Smith, and some of the things that he says, I was just like, I just want to slap him. It's like, hey, you can't say that.
It's a love tap. Be a love tap.
Yeah, just tap him on the shoulder, and it's like, you say that again. You mispronounce that word. Use that grammar. What's the word that he says? He just continues to say it. Droven or something like that.
Was it Dovin? I think he's doing
that
out of a joke because Ruskin and Zach keep using that terminology too.
Yeah, I've heard him say it, and it's like, come on.
Oh, gosh.
Come on, man.
C-Unit, you fired up for Point Break this weekend?
I am, man. It gets better and better.
It does, because this movie has everything. It's got surfing, football, crime, youth, and masks of U.S. presidents. You can't ask for anything more. Which was the mask that Swayze wore during the bank robbery? Did he wear Reagan or was he wearing Nixon? Because it was one of those two.
Huh.
Well, I think you're going to enjoy yourself. And Matt wants you to throw on Donnie Darko. Next of Kin was one Greg and Farmington thought. Not sure if Ghost is going to be the one that we send him off to. Rob wants us to play I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner. We're doing Valentine's Day songs.
It's got to be
today.
something, yeah.
That's yearning.
I got
for
another
love.
George Strait, Cheyenne. Where he's calling, like I'm on my way back. Don't bother. There's another man. I'll be gone. That's a good one.
It's a good one. Here it was like 2.5 months ago. We were playing cheating songs for a very specific reason, too.
That's what we do.
We do cheating songs. We do breakup songs. You know, we're here for community service when it comes right down to it here. Yeah, and, well, we all know the line by Jeff Healy. The name is Dalton, and I'm told by Derek that Swayze wore the Reagan mask. So I don't know who wore the Nixon mask. Maybe that was Keanu Reeves. 877-377-6963. We'll come back into the final hour of halftime in just a moment.
Matching down payments up to $2,500 till the end of February at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. Get the vehicle you've always wanted at Salisal Ford. Over 150 pre-owned vehicles to choose from and a loaded lot full of new Fords. Bring your trade because nobody will pay you more for your trade than Harry Robinson. Matching down payments up to $2,500 all month long. Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pratco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howell in Van Buren.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will climb up into the mid-60s. Mainly clear sky tonight, and overnight low will drop down into the low 40s. Lots of sunshine right around 60 on Thursday, and then we will wind down the week on Friday with a chance of some rain. Our high falling to the 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
This weather update is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell, ready to serve you. KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
2 seconds, 1 second, he lets fly with a shot.
From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. I put my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
But they were one Razorback.
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back into halftime as we get into your third hour on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson here with Matt Jones, or the one and only Clay Henry with us for this last hour as well. See you at Christian Johnston producing. No guests, so you can get on with us if you want. The McLarty Daniel hotline is open right now, 877-377-6963. Let's get a look here. So we didn't get into the NFL Combine yesterday, Matt. We've got 5 Razorbacks that are taking part. Well, at least we're invited to the Combine out of 321. Went and looked, too. There are 73 players from the SEC invited to this to the NFL Combine. That's 73 of 321. That's 23% of the players there fully from the SEC. Hogs have as many as South Carolina, more than Ole Miss, more than Mississippi State, the same amount as Auburn, more than Kentucky. Everybody's got more than Vanderbilt. Florida only has 2, Tennessee 3 there. So
Did you see Michigan's total? I think they had 18 kids.
Yeah, you brought that up with Bill King yesterday. That's nuts.
Whoa. Wow, 18 guys off of one team. That has to be a record, man. That's out of control. Now to Arkansas's 5, I think McLaughlin, if he passes the health test, Phil, if his foot's right and he's healthy, he's 100% going to get drafted. Clay, out of these 2 linemen, do you think both of them get drafted, or are you kind of leaning towards one of them would go before the other one?
They look like free agents to me.
Yeah.
And that ain't all bad. I think
you get to choose where you kind of get to it's almost like college recruiting. You get to talk to the O-line coach and kind of develop a relationship and choose a right fit for you.
Limmer has the advantage that he played some center. The versatility is, they don't carry 2 full, lines in the NFL. It's what's
about 8 or 9, right?
Yeah, they don't carry 10. And so somebody that's got the versatility. I mean, he's definitely not a tackle. Can play guard. He's a better guard than he is a center. But I think that he's a guy that to me has the best chance.
Besides McLaughlin.
McLaughlin.
What about Cam Little?
Cam Little, 100%.
Yeah, I don't. But that's a deal. That's a crapshoot. And there's a lot of kickers that don't get drafted, and that would be luck for him if he isn't drafted, because a kicker, you want to go somewhere where they need a kicker.
I think Cam Little gets drafted.
Yeah.
I think
he's good,
that
isn't he?
Talent. I think yes, sir, Clay. I think has that much talent.
Yeah.
That somewhere there, the 6th or 7th round, you have your field goal kicker for the next decade, maybe 2 decades, as long as kickers goes. And you saw how important it was, these field goal kickers in this last Super Bowl. I mean, multiple 50-yard field goals.
I was out at practice last August, and there was a south breeze, maybe southwest breeze. It wasn't, it was under 10, and he was out there 65 yards out, and I mean, it was going through the, maybe 10 yards up in the upright, and hitting that net just over and over and over. And I was like, man, that's big time there. I mean, it's a weapon when you got accuracy from that, and it just looked normal. There wasn't a heavy leg swing. He wasn't hitting line drives. I mean, he was just taking it up there, and it was middle of the uprights from 65 out. He never got that chance in a game, but I always felt like he was going to break the Arkansas record, which is 67.
I don't think they knew how to use him. But on offense, we didn't know how to do a whole lot this year on offense. But it's
that's a mouthful. But you're right.
But sometimes, Clay, coaches get I don't know. It's like, well, we got to. They feels like a settle for 3.
The really long ones, they're like end of game, end of half, because a miss means you're giving up huge.
They just
position.
go for it. Yeah, go for it or punt it and try to pin them down, change the field position.
Yeah.
You see the quarterbacks: Jaden Daniels, Sam Hartman, Devin Leary, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, Joe Milton, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Michael Pratt from Tulane, Spencer Rattler, Western Kentucky's Austin Reed, Keaton Slovis, who we saw from BYU, Jordan Travis, and Caleb Williams. What are these 2 weeks like? It's less than 2 weeks until the combine, Matt. So what you've obviously you're getting ready for it, and once you play your final game and you have a sense of that maybe they're going to be looking at you. I think for most of these guys to get the invite, it's not really a surprise. So they've been preparing for this anyway. So what is this last home stretch like before the combine?
Everything's a little bit different. They all have a routine, a regimen, or whatever. For me, I left December 26th and went to Parisi Speed School in New York and trained. And then I took a break from training to go down to Mobile, Alabama to play in the Senior Bowl. And so you have you got to have a plan. You have something in action. You know what you're doing Monday. You know what you're doing Tuesday. It's about taking care of your body. You're training with other athletes that are like-minded with the same goal, with a little competition, and then you are kind of like what do they say, a herd of cattle, because the Senior Bowl is the same thing as the combine. A lot of stuff's repetitive. Like they do a lot of the same thing at the Senior Bowl that you'll do at the combine, or maybe a team, maybe we'll just say like the Dolphins and the Buccaneers, or somebody's interested you at the Senior Bowl, and then you get to the combine, it's another teams. Baltimore, they're going to do their own research. They're not going to trust what Miami says. So however many teams kind of have their eye on you is how kind of what you're looking at. And there's always 10, 12, 15 teams.
Matt, what did the speed camp? What is the one thing that maybe you found out there that helped you?
The warm up, Clay. We did this warm up. It was a 20-minute warm up, and it was like the whole workout. Like we did this. It was a lot of track stuff that. We worked on our 20s a lot. You work on
starting.
Yes, yeah. I don't think. Well, you work on your 5s and your 10s, but I didn't run a full 40-yard sprint until maybe a couple weeks before. One day we were working out, and how he's like, I'm the only guy that can take a nap while you're working out, and so I was like, dude, I'm gonna run a 4.4. He's like, whatever. I was like, no, I'm gonna. I'm not trying to be weird about it. I'm just like, I'm going to run a 4.4. He goes, all right, well, let's run one. And so I run one, and it's 4.42. He's like, oh, okay. And so then it's kind of, now we know, most people say they run a 4.4 and then they go run a 4.61, and you're like, okay, whatever.
That is happened.
So that's the only one I ran.
40 million times. 40 million.
That's hilarious. I mean, think of it, so you thought you were lying about that when you'd have the time right in front of you at some point.
Yeah, no, but I guess everybody's like, you'd go to camp. I told you the story about Oklahoma State and Bob Simmons, but we were racing somebody, and there was a receiver there, and he's like, oh, I want to race you, white boy. And it's like, okay, well, what do you run? He's like, I run a 4.4. I said, well, let's race, and sure enough, he doesn't run a 4.4, and they're like, oh man, you're fast for a white boy. It's like, no, I'm fast for any.
I think you're just fast.
Yeah. Fast for a human. Fast for a 6'6" guy.
When did they stop dropping that last part in there on you? Boy, you're kind of fast for a white boy. At some point, they just stopped saying
you're just
that.
Grandfathered
the dude
in.
can just run.
Right. You can either ball or you can't. That's for sure.
Yeah. I was talking with Darren McFadden today about Dean Weber, and it reminded me of, a couple of weeks ago, speaking with Danny Nutt, and he said that they had him up at camp as a sophomore, got him out. Going to run 40s today. He's like, okay, I'm ready. Stretched a little bit, ran a little bit, lined up, 4.25 on multiple watches.
Wow.
McFadden had that
16.
He had that speed that was whatever you're running. It's kind of like Devin Hester, Clay. Whatever you're running, I can run 2 steps faster. He just had that in him.
Yep. And so they were like, well, let's run him again. Well, it was basically the same time again. They said, we don't need to run him anymore. And that's also the minute you get an offer.
Yeah, and don't go to any other camps.
Don't go. Don't go.
You're a Razorback.
Yeah, we don't need you to go anywhere else. Stay with us as we
don't run any more 40s ever anywhere.
Get into some Arkansas baseball in a moment. We now know who's going to be leading off for this Arkansas baseball team, at least at the start of the season. We know what the starting rotation looks like for the first 4 games. We know that Gage Wood is on the closer of the year preseason watch list, and we know the first game will be played on Friday at 3 o'clock. And we know that halftime is back after a very quick break.
Who cares about Blue Bloods when you bleed Razorback red?
For maybe the win.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
scrimmages, so I thought maybe that meant they would use him on a Saturday, but he's going to be the Sunday starter, and that's a pretty good role. Hudson White will be the leadoff batter to start the season instead of Peyton Stovall. I feel like we have to get the idea of the speedster being at the top of the batting order out of our minds, because it's not a team that's going to be built around speed. It's built around liners into the gaps, balls over the fence, hard-hit balls, not necessarily speed and moving guys around. I think the speed will be more near the bottom of the batting order than at the top. But what this tells me about Hudson White, Clay, and Matt is that he can get on base. And he'll have a little power, too, because you do see Arkansas put some guys with pop at the top of the batting order. White was going to bat second behind Stovall, so they just moved him up one spot. It makes a lot of sense to me. I've heard baseball managers and head coaches, Clay, sometimes talk about the idea that they want their best hitter, not the best power hitter, not the best run producer, but the batter that they see as potentially their best hitter at the top of the batting order.
Sometimes a guy that'll take a pitch or two. I mean, that's part of it too. You want to, I think that what Dave Van Horn's teams have historically been really good at is working counts and getting starters out of games. And I've seen so many big Friday night pitching duels. It's like they got the starter out of there by the fourth inning, and then the other team's got to make a decision. Okay, we're down a couple of runs, and they've got their ace out there, and then they've got another ace behind him, and then they got a closer. We're going to throw in the towel right now. In the fourth inning, they're making that decision, and then all at once it's it's 16-4, and they did decide to hold pitchers, and then it makes it easy on you on the back end. Maybe you don't need to use your closer, but it is all about pitch counts in that Friday game.
Was it so it's not a strikeout home run like Kyle Schwarber. Didn't Philly do that this year? They would put him first, and I did not understand it. So what you're saying is he's more of a Kevin Youkilis type. Like he might get a walk, but what he's going to do is run that pitch count up and be a disciplined hitter. Because
and I hadn't seen him, so I shouldn't say. I was more of a question field than anything else.
It's just judging by the numbers that he had at Texas Tech. But I don't think that Dave would be going just by that. I mean, I think he's probably going by what he saw in the fall and what he saw right here at Arkansas in the month of January.
He's a legit bat. There's no question.
He's a legit bat, and what tells me that I know that they're expecting pop from him is that he was hitting second. That you're gonna put somebody with power in the leadoff in the number 2 spot. Because you figure, well, the guy's gonna get on base. If you don't have a guy who's speedy, who has a little power on the leadoff spot, let's say he walks, because they're gonna get a lot of walks, you would think, and. Well, then you got a guy who can maybe drive him in with a ball to the gap or over the fence. You don't have to worry about the stolen base. The other aspect of this is, too, you have to remember we view these spots in the batting order as, well, you want to have pop if you're number 4, you want to have speed if you're number 1, and all of that. Run producer is the 6th hitter and all of that. This only works in the first inning.
No question.
Like, how often does the guy at the top of the batting order actually lead off an inning? Sometimes it only happens once, and that's it.
Yeah, I was sitting talking hitting with Todd Butler one time, and he was a head coach, for a time at Wichita State, and we were sitting on a trout stream one day, and it's like, who do you like to bat leadoff? He said, the guy that's my best player, and I said, what do you mean? He says, the leadoff guy gets the most at bats. Yep. It's simple as that.
Tim Bogar is the one who taught me that. Tim used to be an infielder in the majors. He's been a minor league manager. He's been a major league bench coach. He's going to be the manager for the Amarillo AA club this next year. And I remember we had a hitter, Randall Grichuk. Cardinals fans remember him. He came up with the Angels, and he was our center fielder for a year. They batted him leadoff. And at that point, usually you had, like a Punch and Judy guy that takes pitches and steals bases at the top of the batting order. And why do you have Grichuk batting leadoff? It was a directive from the major league team, because they wanted the number 1 prospect, as they viewed the best hitter on that team, to get the most plate appearances. I think it was more for development than winning games, but it's also a logical way to look at this, isn't it?
Well, it's happening in major leagues now.
Absolutely. That's why a guy like Schwarber strikes fear into pitchers. because they know if they make a mistake, hey, they might get it past him, but it might end up in the state next door to where they're playing.
Yeah, there's some games he's going to get 5 at-bats instead of 4. He's going to get 4 instead of 3.
And let's not be taking pitches just for the sake of taking pitches, too. You get a first pitch, fat fastball right there. Jump on that sucker.
Send it.
Yeah, you don't know if you're going to get another one of those. You just don't. And so Fisher's starting Monday's game. I haven't had a chance to get my eyes on him yet. I'm interested in this because that tells me Fisher could start the Tuesday game against Grambling if he does well against James Madison. Like, what an opportunity for this kid, because otherwise, if Ben Bybee was healthy, he would be the Monday starter. So the hamstring, and I don't think it's going to keep him out for too long, but that's an opportunity for Fisher to get out there. It's the same idea as the opportunity for Jared Sprague-Lott to play now every day until Stovall is healthy and comes back. It's like, you didn't show up on campus fully expecting that opportunity because you know how difficult it is as a freshman to crack a starting rotation in the SEC, or as an incoming transfer from the Atlantic 10 to crack the starting lineup for an SEC team. Both these guys get this chance the first weekend. I'm excited to see what they do with it.
The guy that I really hope to see pitch pretty quick, I may come over for Friday's game, is Gabe Gackle. Is that how you say the last name?
I think it is, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I just keep hearing lots of cool stuff. And, I texted you the other day while you were on, and I don't think I really answered your question. The problem last year with Gage Wood is that he had the good fastball, pretty straight, not a lot of movement, and his curveball was inconsistent. It'd snap in sometimes, and sometimes it'd hang. Well, now I think he's added 2 more pitches, and I'm not sure. I know one of them is a change, and I'm not sure if the other one is a splitter or a slider. But he's got 4 that he can throw for strikes, and it really has changed. Some of those guys that they throw the fastball, and if they don't get the breaker or over, nobody swings at that one. They just wait on the fastball, and that's what happened to him late in the year, and it got ugly sometimes, especially like at Vanderbilt. So I think he's beyond that now. It's typical growth, maturation of a young pitcher.
And I think he'll get opportunities early to close games. But we'll see about who gets the moniker closer, because I feel like that job's up for grabs at the start of the season between Wood and maybe Gackle. Although I know they're also thinking about starting him. That doesn't mean they won't give him the ball in the 9th inning.
Faherty too. Yeah.
Faherty, who's throwing more strikes now. Like, that's a big if. I always want to identify these ifs. Jason Jones in left field is an if. If he turns into the hitter that we've seen at batting practice and that they know he can be, and I know he thinks he can be, that will pay huge dividends. Gackle's another one. Thinking of what other ifs here. If Peyton Holt stays healthy, if Christian Fouch is getting his splitter where he needs it to go, like, that's a guy who could close games for you too.
Kansas transfer.
Yeah, Stone Hewlett.
Yep.
Yeah,
lefty.
You got a lot of opportunities here on this team.
There's been some times with Arkansas baseball, and they say there's a lefty up. Well, it was it's probably Matt Cronin, because that was the only lefty that's down there. But they got 8 or 9 lefties. I mean, that's not normal in college baseball, because high school players that can throw, that they can, they can break 88, they're going to get drafted. There's only 25% of people in the world that are left-handed. If they can throw a baseball hard, they get drafted right out of high school. For them to get this many lefties on one team, and I love it that they go left, right, left in their rotation on the weekend.
Mm-hmm. That also makes me think about what the top of the batting order looks like, because before Stovall's injury, I think the first 6 spots of the Friday game batting order was lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty. You like to stagger it because it makes it really difficult to match up as you go later on throughout the game. But now you got one of those lefties who's hurt in Stovall, so it's not an all right-handed hitting lineup. It just isn't, but it's just one less lefty for them to kind of stagger that lineup with. Well, and also, if Diggs becomes a superstar, a mega superstar, that's what Brandon in Paris checks in with. Now, that's the guy that I probably have more faith in living up to the billing than anything else. Kendall was really good last year in run-producing situations. Great hitters always take a big step forward that third year in college. And this is a year that Kendall Diggs can do something exactly like that.
There were a lot of spots where teams would not throw a strike to him. And so he didn't swing. And apparently that outside pitch off the plate now that he just passed on, which is a ball, he can hit, into the hog pen now. And it was mainly pull power, wasn't it, Phil, for him?
Yeah, I think there might have been one that went the other way. But it's like the way you're bringing this up, that's one of Bubba's biggest things about hitting. It's not what you swing at, it's what you don't swing at.
Yeah.
And sometimes the what you don't swing at can get you into some tough counts. Now, Kendall can work his way out of those counts too, but that's the whole point that I was getting at with, like, if Hudson White sees a first pitch fastball that's coming right there belt high to start a game, or anybody to start a game, why not jump on that thing? Because you don't know if you're going to get that kind of pitch. And look, I want my leadoff guy to be comfortable on 0-1. I want him to be comfortable on 0-2. I want every hitter to be. I just don't want them to always be in that situation because you take that first pitch.
Well, most hitters, when it's an inch off the plate and it's a fastball, they try to pull it. And we saw Heston Kjerstad do that early in his career. Then he started taking them the other way, and there's now no stopping that guy. And that's what you need. In Kendall Diggs, that's the next step because everybody's scared to pitch him in.
Well, one more step for him, and then it's off to the Major League Baseball draft.
He is a superstar, I think.
We are on our way to the home stretch of halftime and reminding you about the hot preseason savings on your choice of New Holland equipment right now at WT Equipment. You'll find a location in Springdale and online at WTEquip.com. You get 0% financing for 60 months or a free loader on compacts. Hurry into WT Equipment today. Shop that huge selection of in-stock inventory. Whatever model you choose, you get reliable quality, efficient power, in an easy-to-operate package. It's sure to handle a wide range of chores. That's at WT Equipment today. Take home truckloads of savings when you buy now. Offer ends March 31st. And again, it's WTEquip.com. Home stretch of halftime. We continue after this.
Hello, this is Kevin Cowan at KC Insurance, and I just wanted to tell you all about plans that we have for Arkansans. It's through the Affordable Care Act, formerly known as Obamacare. Most Arkansans can qualify for a plan for $10 a month premium or below. We are located at 912 Highway 6265 North in Harrison, Arkansas, in the Ace Hardware Shopping Center. Give Ricky Cowan a call at 870-517-1207. Thank you.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Sunday morning. You can smell it. Game day. And the brisket you've been smoking since last night. A day to be with family, aka fellow football fans. Traditions make Sundays easy to enjoy. Beers do too. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros and take care of your home, too. Sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
This year, upgrade your home to safe, convenient, and energy-efficient natural gas from Arkansas Oklahoma Gas. Skip the prepayments and delivery issues, and enjoy the peace of mind knowing that your natural gas is always there when you need it. And we can help make converting your home easy and affordable too. For heating, hot water, cooking, and more, it's time to upgrade to safe, reliable, and energy-efficient natural gas. Visit AOGC.com to learn more. AOG, energy for life.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Clay Henry with us as well. Guys, I got a text in on our McClarty Daniel text line, 877-377-6963, from Dr. Mike Walker in New Mexico. He was a former trainer under Dean Weber, grew up in Danville, had a full ride as a student athletic trainer under Lou Holtz and Dean Weber, and became a physician, lives in New Mexico now. So he was listening in and wanted to share just his memory about Dean Weber. And here's something in the Daily Courier Democrat from 1979 in the Russellville paper about Mike Walker, who's only 5'7" and weighs less than 130 pounds. He sat in for us, and he was working for Dean Weber. So there's just yet another person that Dean touched professionally, probably in a personal way as well, and probably helped him out to decide what it was he wanted to do with his life. So Dean Weber passes away yesterday, and the remembrances keep coming through here. You'd said he was Irish, right, Matt?
Yeah, he was a little Irish, Mr. Miyagi. One thing about Dean, that it's whatever was going on, it was never too big, it was never too small. He always had great perspective, always kind of just helps you at ease whenever whatever you're going through, because you you got to think, Phil. There's injuries happen on every single football game. Something goes on, and he was just a tremendous communicator. And then Clay mentioned it early. Is to be in that position and for that long, you have to be a great listener.
Well, he obviously was. Clay, are you back there?
Yes, I was just I'm just soaking all this in, and when we know the funeral arrangements, we'll pass them along. I was checking on that, Phil, just now. And I may have that shortly. But it's, the thing that just amazed me about Dean is how many people that he touched. And it wasn't just athletes. I mean, there are people that he'd run into somebody and they'd say, hey, my son or my daughter has this issue. And he just would just kind of blurt out. He says, well, why are we talking about it? Why don't you bring them by? And he'd make time to see people. It might not be during football season, but he's just helped so many people that they've got this injury. We're not sure, but he'd seen it all and knew what how to cope with it. And suggestion, it might be, well, you're using the wrong shoes. It might be as simple as that. And just try this exercise or whatever. But it was, he was at the top of his craft, and Razorback Athletics was fortunate to have him.
I love the idea of something as simple as shoes being the thing that fixes it, but that's sometimes quite often that is the case.
He was telling me about a meeting he had with the people at Nike in the 70s and those shoes. And that was one of the things he was telling me about how the improvement in the shoe game. And then also back then, Clay, like they didn't get all this swag, all this per diem, all this merchandise that these coaches get now. You were kind of allotted just a very small amount.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff. And but he handled everything. He handled the travel. I mean, he knew all the ins and outs of the SEC before the first game was played. In other words, don't stay here, don't do that, because he researched it, and then he went and saw. He got in a plane and went and checked things out, whether it be hotels, everything. There were no surprises. Darren McFadden was telling me that they were going somewhere, and he was a star. I mean, it was probably his last year, and the autographs would just the hotel lobbies would fill up, and Dean is like, hey, we need to get you some rest and get you off your feet, and when we get off the bus, you go here, here, and here. There's a stairwell, and this is the key to your room, so that you won't spend an hour and a half signing autographs. Not that Darren didn't want to sign autographs. That's not the point of this story, because he did. But there's times where you need to get away, and he had all that figured out. He just knew.
Athletic trainers so often are salt of the earth. I mean, they're the first one in, they're the last one out. There's players that are getting extra treatment. They got to show up early. After the game's over, after practice is over, what's going on? The training room is being is operative. I mean, they are sometimes put in the most hours of anybody on just about any staff, and you're an athletic trainer, you're a medical supervisor, you're a pharmacist, you're a relationship therapist, you're a counselor, a psychologist, all at the same time, and a mentor at the same time to so many of these kids.
Talked with Sean Rochelle, who was there with him the last few days, and I've been talking about constantly. He works over at IMG Learfield, works at the university, but he was at the foundation when they moved Dean out of the training role and went down and worked with Sean, and they became really close. Now, you have to know that Sean, he grew up in Elkins, and he was a GA, I think 88 or 89 on Ken Hatfield's staff, and it was into that first year. They were getting ready to go to the Cotton Bowl, and Dean asked him, he says, have you got presents for your parents? He's like, I don't have any money. GAs don't have any money. He goes, come with me. And he took him into the swag room. Well, I don't even know where that is or what it is, Matt, but all the stuff's there. And, satin jackets, Razorback logos, all the stuff. he says, pick out something for your mom and your dad. And so he went like T-shirt. He goes, no. I mean, it's like, so he got a sweatshirt for his mom and a Razorback jacket for his dad. And that was what he gave. And Dean said, don't make a big deal out of this. I mean, no hugs. This is just get it and go. And he says, it was a big deal. It's still a big deal.
Not much of a hugger?
Well, he didn't, he just didn't want to he didn't want that to be about him.
Sure.
He wanted it to be about, you earned this, you've worked your butt off as a GA, and he said his dad wore that jacket until it was tatters.
Let's take a call on the McLarty Daniel hotline from Marty in Fayetteville. Wants to talk about Dean Weber. Hey, Marty, thank you for calling Halftime. What's up?
Hey, I just was going to call about Dean. I don't know if you were able to see, I guess, who my last name is, but I literally grew up in the Broyles Center, and back in those days, like, all the coaches were there in the Broyles Center, and so my dad would go to work, and he'd bring us, with my sister and my brother and I, and we would go, and, like, the first thing we'd do is we'd run down to the training room, and it wasn't because we were wanting to go see, like, a football player or something like that. It was always because we wanted to go see Dean, because he'd always have, like, a treat for us or something for us. Like, he'd fake, wrap our leg, or he'd, just do something like that. And I was, after the news happened last night, I was going back and forth with my sister, and she said, remember how we would just, the only reason why we'd go down there is just to see Dean. It wasn't even to see, like, some famous football player. It was all because of Dean. And I don't know, that just, it's just the kind of guy he was. And just wanted to share that. He was, we were just little kids. I mean, we were like 5, 7, 9, all the way up to about when we grew up to be about 12, 13, 14. And it was everyday thing. Every time we went down there, he'd have something for us. And, whether it was a piece of candy or just something to, placate us with, trying to fake, help us with a fake injury or whatever. And then when we really did get injured because of playing high school sports and stuff like that, obviously the first person we saw was Dean Weber. So, he was just, that's just the kind of guy he was. He was, he wasn't bothered by little 5, 7, and 9-year-old kids, running around in his training room. He'd have something for us to do and keep us busy. And because he knew my dad would be working upstairs. And so, he was, basically babysitting us for a while. And, it's just really good memories from that. And just wanted to share that.
Marty, I appreciate you calling and talking about your memories of Dean Weber. You still got the baseball season starting up this weekend, man. What does that do to you? How does that make you feel?
I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. I'm cautiously optimistic like everybody else, but I don't know. I think we got some pop and I think we've got some arms. So, that's a good combination. I'm ready to see it start going.
Marty, thanks for calling in. It's good to talk to you. See you at Baumwalker soon, okay?
Okay. See you soon, so appreciate it.
That was Marty DeBryan that called in there, Norm's son. That's really cool.
That's like Uncle Dean.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Uncle Dean. And there's two men in Norm and Dean who, I mean, I know this from Bubba's perspective better than anybody, and I've heard it from Dave too. A lot of people viewed Norm as a second father. I have a sense, Matt, I don't like knowing you and how you feel about Dean Weber. And I know, you respect your father in a very certain way, and that's your dad. But from when I've heard you talk about Dean Weber and the time that you put into visiting him in these last few months, I have a sense that you viewed him the same way as a second father.
Yeah, no, I'm very lucky and very fortunate to have both my parents, have two great parents, hit the lottery without buying a ticket. Dino such a mentor to these kids. You're 18, 19 years old, Phil, and you know how you are when you're 18 or 19. You don't really know. You think you know, but you don't know what's going on.
And you're away from home now. So
you're the first
there's
time
no
away
rudder.
Yeah, and so, man, he was just a constant, reliable, someone you can always, even if you just wanted to joke about your latest girlfriend or some class, you know, it wasn't always about football with Dean.
All right, we got a couple of callers on hold. We have to hit this break. So Marcus and James, if you can hold through the break, we'll get your remembrances of Dean Weber on the other side of the break, and then we'll wrap halftime up in just a moment. So we'll wrap halftime up. Stay with us.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Jason Hill in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witz Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witz Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. We know that now more than ever, you want to maximize your tax refund, and we're here to help with road-ready certified pre-owned vehicles. They are simply the best used cars you can buy. Plus, our experience and relationships with the banks and lenders helps us get the payment you need while keeping more of your money in your pocket. Maximizing your money, another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Eat into the new year with Arts Barbecue on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Arts has many lighter menu options available, from grilled chicken to fish to low-carb entrees, plus delicious sides. And since Arts smokes all of their meats in-house, the ham, turkey, and other meats that top their handmade salads make these choices easy and delicious. And don't forget, all burgers are $1 off every Saturday. Arts Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Wake up, Maggie, I think I got
It's late September and I really should be back at school. I know I keep you amused, but I feel I'm being used. Oh, Maggie, I couldn't have tried anymore.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Thank you very much to our callers who held through that last break. As we have our short segment to wrap up the show here today, let's go to that McClarty Daniel hotline. James in Fayetteville wanted to share memories of Dean Weber. Hi, James. How you doing today?
Hey, Phil. Hey, Matt. Hey, Clay. Doing real good. My name is James Forbes, and I was a freshman in 2008, and I actually was on Coach Petrino's staff as a student athletic trainer. And the way I got that gig is because of Dean Weber. He came to the East Texas Alumni Razorback Club when I was a junior in high school, and he was down there with Bobby Allen, who recruited that territory at the time. And he spent an hour with me, some kid he didn't know from Adam, talking about the athletic training program, talking about, what it meant to really be an athletic trainer. And I was a student athletic trainer at my high school whenever I wasn't playing baseball, and just fell in love with Arkansas. And so Dean Weber is honestly one of the reasons, one, I went to the U of A, and two, I got to be involved with the football program and the baseball program and even the basketball program a little bit back in 2008, 2009, and 2010. And that first year, student athletic trainers we weren't considered like a work study kind of program thing. And so Dean Weber actually paid for my textbooks my freshman year.
Wow.
And he paid for my meal plan out of his own pocket my freshman year. And I can't thank Coach Weber enough. I'm not in athletic training right now, but I'm still involved in the medical healthcare profession. I work at Vantage Point Behavioral Health Hospital in Fayetteville doing business development for them. But I can't thank Coach Weber enough for investing in me. Some kid he didn't know from Adam, and just meant a lot to me. So thanks for letting me share. And Coach Weber, if you're listening, I don't know if you remember me or not, but I love you and thank you so much.
James, that was wonderful. Thank you. Marcus and Harrison, you're next and last today on Halftime. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, guys. How are you guys doing?
We're good, thank you.
Hey, listen, first I wanted to say you guys were over in Harrison a few months back. A good friend of mine who's a pastor with Woodshed Ministries, he did a live stream from here.
Yeah.
And, Matt, thanks. You spent a lot of time with my son Gavin, made a big impression on him. And you talked to him. He's a quarterback. He's ninth grade, and he's got some ability. But the biggest thing you told him was, like, Gavin, have fun, play multiple sports. I just want you to know, Matt, he is at track practice. Basketball's done. He's heading out to track today, and that wouldn't have happened without that conversation. So thanks for spending time with him. So Dean Weber, my dad coached for about 40 years, and a lot of small schools in Arkansas. And at the time, I graduated from the big town of Deer, Arkansas, and Dad had a post player that girl hurt her knee, and basically he knew the family. They said, Coach, told him to get to the doctor. He said, we can't afford it, Coach. We don't have insurance. And fast forward, somehow Dad knew another coach that got him in touch with Dean Weber, and Dean said, Coach, bring this kid to me. He took a look at her. He did the testing. They thought it was an ACL. He said, I think we're good to go here. Gave her some exercises. She ended up fine. And for all my dad's career, when he left, he said, Coach, anytime you've got a kid that has an injury, you bring them to me. If there's a financial need, let me look at them first. And, Matt, as you know, most athletic trainers, their diagnostic skills, especially a guy like Dean Weber, I'm a physical therapist, background in athletic training, they can diagnose a lot of stuff. He never, all those kids, all those years, he never charged a dime to my dad. There's no telling how many kids that he looked at and he helped from all these small schools over in the Harrison area. And I've listened to most of the calls today, and I think, there's a verse in the Bible that says, Jesus said, whatever you've done for the least of these, you've done for me. And that's what I think of Dean Weber, is that, he looked who are those least of these around that he knew he could help. I think that sums up all the stories today. So God bless Dean Weber and his ministry, and he was a heck of a guy, and thanks for you guys for honoring him today.
Appreciate the phone call and the story there, Marcus. All right, we're right about out of time. I appreciate all the calls, the stories. No, it's not the easiest thing to talk about somebody who passed on that was loved. And Matt, I appreciate your honesty about Dean, and Clay, you too, and all of our callers and texters today. So we'll reconvene tomorrow, all right? Clay, we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks. Thank you all for having me.
If you missed anything, the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast coming out soon. For Matt Jones, for the C Unit, I'm Phil, and for Clay, that's Halftime. Get up, get out, and get better.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fitzman. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe